Hey there, everybody. Chris Parry from Equity Guru here with today's 3-minute hit. One of our client companies is a company called Standard Uranium, and I want to talk about them today because I'm looking at their share chart, and it's been, after a sustained period of going like that, it's starting to just sort of tick down. And it's interesting because uranium as a sector right now has got a little bit of renewed interest. One of our other clients, Sky Harbor, which is a little bit more advanced, admittedly, is on the way up, but Standard has been just sort of ticking down. And they've been a little quiet on the news front, let's be honest. It's like an early stage company, and that's something that happens sometimes. But I want to go back to late December, a news release that these guys put out in which they laid out that they had an agreement with not one, not two, not three, 4 First Nations groups in the local area, plus the local city, Uranium City, and northern settlement of Wollaston Lake, and the northern settlement of Camsell Portage. Essentially, everybody in the Athabasca has signed an agreement with Standard Uranium to say, we're happy that you're here, we're happy to work with you, we're happy to watch over your back to make sure you do everything by the book, and going forward, let's all be part of essentially the same group. I think this is amazing. I think this is perhaps one of the finer news releases from a uranium company in the last 6 to 12 months. Now, admittedly, Standard is small. It's not elbowing as many people as, say, Sky Harbor is. It's not super low market cap like, say, Azincourt is. It is not producing like the big boys. But what I find interesting about Standard is that everyone who looks at it goes, interesting. Like, the property is interesting. What they're doing with it is interesting. The number of videos that are on their website showing you what they do, how they do it, is interesting. Like, there's a lot about this company that just sort of speaks to just a slow chugga. They're moving this thing forward in a way that is sustainable, responsible. They're putting all the pieces in place that need to be put in place. They're not jumping any elements to try and get a news release out. It's going to bump the stock. Now, admittedly, people that have been in the stock for a while might look at the stock price and say, I would like it to be heavier. I would like it to be higher. And, okay, so there's 2 reasons to make the stock price high. One, if you're doing a raise, you want to make sure you're getting good value for money. Number 2, you want the stock price to be high if you're encouraging people to trade out of the stock. And I don't think that either of those 2 things are on Standard Uranium's radar right now. In fact, I think what Standard is doing is a long-term approach to this thing that is not going to be trader-friendly. Will it be investor-friendly? For sure. If you want to buy in right now at 6.5 cents, chances are pretty good you're going to get some good value out of that, because it is the opposite, for mine, of where it should be. Like, this is a company that has been putting out good news, putting together a good story for quite some time. It's only an $11 million market cap. And so any decent piece of news on drilling is going to set this thing in an interesting place. Now, I mentioned drilling. In February, which is this month right now, the company was set to schedule drilling as of now. So they're out there putting holes in the ground this minute, while the stock has just been quietly just sort of edging lower. They're actually doing the work. So this is great on 2 fronts. 1, when you buy in, you're getting value for money. 2, when that drilling is done and the results start moving towards coming public, any decent news is likely to catapult this thing up from where it has been trending. Now, if you're a long-term shareholder in Standard Uranium, I don't think you've got anything to be too concerned about. They are doing what they said they were going to do. They're doing what it says on the tin. If you're a trader who got yourself into Standard and is not looking positive and wants to get out of it, the company doesn't owe you shit. Just between you and me. The company is about investors, long-term shareholders. Short-term shareholders, you want to get in and out of a stock, it's between you and your God. It's nothing to do with the company. Company doesn't need to make things happy for you. Are they going to need to go and raise a bunch of money? It doesn't appear that way. Are they doing the drilling? Yes, they are. So everything's sort of like, they already closed a $4.25 million private placement in October. They got all the money they're going to need in the short term. So what do they care about the share price dropping from 8 cents to 6 cents? Look, if you've got to get out and you've got to buy Timmy a bike for Christmas and you want to do it now, tough shit, man. Like, this is a long long-term strategy. They are building something up that starts small and is going to move to a place where the bigger boys are going to take a real interest. I know from talking to people at the Vancouver Resource Investment Conference this last week, there are a lot of people looking at Standard, a lot of people looking at Sky Harbor, a lot of people looking at Azincourt. So our Uranium Super Friend trio, I think, is a really good bet, regardless of whether the day is up or the day is down or the week is up or the week is down. You look at their market caps right now, they are reasonable. They are dead set reasonable. And if you like uranium, as I do, if you think that the green energy revolution is inevitably going to land on uranium as the next way forward, the only real way forward, uranium as a green energy investment, get that through your head, but that's the reality of the case. I think that what John Bay is doing at Standard Uranium right now is top notch. He's in no rush to jam things in just to please traders. That's what I would be doing as well. He is building a legitimate exploration company on a legitimate site with legitimate explorers, and it is going to be great. STND is the ticker symbol. For mine, you want to at least add it to your watch list. Take a little nibble? Sure, up to you. Take a big nibble? Get your own investment advice. I'm not an investment advisor, but I'll tell you we did.